Welcome to Midmore Outdoors, everything outdoors. Today we're going to be sighting in a rifle out to 200 yards. It's 223. It's actually previously sighted in, but I switched scopes on it. So hopefully it'll work out for me pretty well. So my first shot's going to be really close. I'm going to move backwards from there. My ending shot will be 200 yards, and I'm sighting in dead on at 200 yards. So for those of you who want to know how to do this with as few shots as possible, that's my goal. I don't have all that much ammunition for this rifle, so hopefully I can sight it in 5 to 10 shots and get it shooting really good. That's my goal here. So if you want to know how to do that, stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe my channel. Hopefully I'll be coming out with more videos very soon. So this is the gun that I'm going to be sighting in. It's a New England handy rifle in 223 with a Nikon Monarch 3 to 12 by 40 scope with an adjustable objective. So this gun was previously sighted in with a Simmons 6 to 18 scope, but I decided to go a little smaller since I'm not going to be shooting much further than 300 yards with it. I actually used the 6 to 18 on a different rifle, and I'm using some 50 grain soft points is my ammunition that I'm using, so we'll see how that does. Alright, so the first shot is going to be about 20 yards. I'm just going to shoot it and see where it is left and right and up and down, and I want to be a little bit low at this distance on the orange dot. Alright, my next shot will be at 100 yards. This is not a stable shot either. It's more of a offhand shot. I just want to see my up and down. Alright, so we'll go take a look at where that hit, and then we'll adjust and go to 200 yards. Alright, so it looks like it was about a foot low at 100 yards when I shot it. So I raised it the full foot, 12 inches. Actually, I raised it 8 inches, and then I decided to raise it the other 4 inches as well, because I did move back to 200 yards. So it should be dead on at 100 yards now, so therefore it's probably a little bit low at 200. So that's what we're going to find out here now. So far we've only fired 3 shots, and we're already out to 200 yards. So I feel pretty confident that I can accomplish my goal of sighting it in, at least getting it to where it's hitting near the bullseye at 200 yards in under 10 shots. That's my goal. Now we are dealing with some left to right wind, which would be west to east wind. So if my shots come in a little bit to the right on 200 yards, that's to be expected with the wind direction the way it is. But I'll try to minimize the wind interference. By doing that, so I wait until there's as little wind as possible, so I don't have to correct for the windage issue. And we'll go look and see where that's at. Alright, so it appears that the height of my scope and barrel kind of didn't help me on this one. So I changed it to where it should be hitting dead on at 100 yards. So my shot at 200 yards was about a foot high, so about 12 inches high. So my original guess of going 8 inches up would have actually been better in this case, but I've never sighted this rifle in from the start. I bought it sighted in, so I didn't know how it would react. So now that I do, I dropped it the 12 inches. So for scopes that have a 1/4 inch measurement change at 100 yards, so now we're at 200 yards, so each click is now a 1/2 inch change. So I actually dropped to 24 clicks, which would normally be 6 inches at 100 yards, but that is 1 foot or 12 inches on 200 yards. So we'll shoot here and see what my second shot at 200 yards is going to be like, and after dropping it the full 12 inches, we'll see how good it is. And we'll go see. So as you can see, the first shot at 200 yards was up there. So I guesstimated that was about 1 foot high. So I dropped it the 6 inches or 12 inches on 200 yards, so 24 clicks. And then my second shot at 200 yards hit the orange. So that was 5 shots. So the first 3, so there was 2 shots at 20-ish yards, 25 yards to see where it was, and then 1 shot at 100 yards, and then 2 shots at 200 yards, and you can see the result. It hit that's a 1 inch orange dot on 200 yards. So that's a pretty good result. I can't guarantee that it'll work that way every time, because it does not. I've not had great luck at doing it this fast in the past, but I've done it this way multiple times. This is usually how I sight in a rifle. If I'm gonna do it, I try to get it there as quickly as possible, and then I go back and I really take my time, shoot some 5-shot groups to make sure that it's consistently grouping where you want it, and it's not just a fluke or a flyer or anything like that. So I can't trust this 1 shot. Yeah, I did hit the orange, but that's nowhere near where you want to be for precision shooting. I usually shoot anywhere from 10 to 20 rounds at the yardage that I'm prepared to shoot at, just to make sure that the group that I shoot is where I want it. All right, now I'm going to shoot 3 shots simultaneous, boom, 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 and then we'll go down and look and see what kind of group it shoots. I'm going to fast forward through the in-between times of shooting, because I'll probably have to stop and wait for the wind until it's kind of windy out here. Alright, we'll go see. So I shot my rifle at 200 yards. I shot 2 3-shot groups. The first one that I shot all 3 of them, went down and looked at it. They were straight up and down, but about 12 inches apart from the 2 furthest ones. Did not like that group very much. So I came back, tightened my scope just to see if that was the issue. I tightened it, made sure every mount was tight with a screwdriver and with a hex, which is what the screws on top are for mine, is the hex. And shot it again. It was about a 10-inch group, same way, straight up and down. Didn't make any difference. So then I brought the target closer to about 100 yards, and I shot a 3-shot group at 100 yards, and it was about 2.5-inch group at 100 yards. Where I hit the orange dot at 200 yards after 5 shots, well, that was complete luck. But that's why we don't trust the single shot. I would have thought that, just from the 1 shot I hit a 1-inch dot on 200 yards, you'd think that I would be golden. The next 8 shots didn't get anywhere close to that 1-inch dot. So just stuff like that can happen. So beware of that. Don't trust your first shot. Don't trust not using groups. So my next steps from here, since I already checked my scope, I know the gun shoots better than that. So my only suggestion is that it's ammunition issue. I bought these particular rounds from a gun show, person who reloads. 223 was a little hard to come by, when I bought this rifle, so I didn't have anything to sight it in with other than hand loads. So I'm gonna get some name brand ammunition. I'll take video of that as well, and I'll put it on here as an update to show you how well the rifle actually performs. This is not a good indication of how the rifle performs. I know the scope is very accurate. I really want to make this gun perform, so I'm going to try some different types of ammunition, see if it's an ammunition problem. I don't think it's a gun problem, but that's the two things that I'm concerned with, is ammunition and gun barrel headspace type issue. So I'll investigate, and I'll keep posting videos to show you how well that works. But so far, this video is really about how to quickly sight in a rifle all the way out to even 200 yards, which most people don't sight in rifle out that far. I know sometimes it's more difficult for those people who don't have land, don't have a range of their own, don't have that much time to shoot, that type of stuff. But I encourage you, if you're going to go out and use a rifle on game of any kind, to make sure that your gun is accurate. That way there's no questions if you take a shot, if you hit where you were aiming or not. I will post another video of the same gun when I get some factory ammunition, and then I'll post the groups that I shoot. Anyway, stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe. I apologize that this didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I did warn up front that this may not. And it looked really good after the 5th shot, and it was touching the dot at 200 yards, but it doesn't always work out as well as you hope.